Tabby. Oh, and also, I hope I haven't missed people's comments. I'm sure I missed a ton. I'll go through the whole list. Oh, that's causing me VTubing problems. This game. There would be no problem if I play with two different computers. That solidifies that the two PCs setup becomes important again. Why does it keep forcing it to scroll down? I want to see the old comments. In Canada? Oh, let's scroll down again. Stop doing that. We'll use chatty. No wonder people are getting tired of Streamlabs. It's kind of frustrating to see it forcefully scroll down to the bottom. We want to read old comments. Okay, there's the beginning. Meiji said hi. Timbo said hey, Munchie. Oh, did I never respond to Munchie? Munchie's gone. Hi, Munchie, if you're there. Did I never say hello to Munchie? Oh my god, Munchie, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, I can't even scroll that far up. How did I miss Munchie? Oh. Hello, Munchie, I love you. Munchie. Oh no, they're not. No, there's 3 Munchie. There we go. Hello, Munchie. I feel so sad for not saying hello now. I really was distracted. I'm burned out just in time for me. I will return to VR chat, I'm sure. I just kind of had a disappointing and discouraging experience. I need, a break from VR chat due to something I really shouldn't talk any further about. Sorry about that, slot person. I'll never give up VR chat forever, surely. I don't know what to see other than sorry, slot person. Yes, I'm just going to play some music. I'm tired of not having music. Let's play this one again. I'm addicted to this song. I was so out of it mentally while playing this game. I wasn't paying attention to the story or anything at all. Maybe I'm not ready to play this game. Because my brain was not inside the game at all. I eventually got around to responding to Dark Ratty. Where's the music? Is it really done? There we go. Hide your screen. I wonder what all characters there are. So Vandrick said I help you get the characters you want. Oh, so it is a gacha game? I guess it's a gacha game. I wonder what characters there are. And Kyle mentioned about not showing me email. Yeah, probably so. Kinda scary that I just open up the game and it shows my email. So keeping me logged in. It's frustrating. I could play Tira. I met a lot of people via Tira online. It's been a while since I played Tira. I can go back and practice some Guilty Gear. One thing I know is that I don't want to return back to this game until I get the problem with me VTubing sorted out. It does not like my VTubing software at all. I don't want to become a slideshow. Going like, boom, boom. I don't know how to imitate the slideshow look, but y'all saw. It was messing with my computer software. I'm gonna set up 2 computers. Oh, and Fantrix said I look adorable. Thank you, Fantrix. Thank you for saying. Fantrix said I look adorable. Thank you. Gosh, I need more VRMs. I have so many VR chat avatars that could be converted to VRM. But really what I need to do is just have my live 2D debut soon. I'll show the feed. I'll show the feed on Twitter. Of my live 2D reveal. If I get 10 likes or retweets. There. I think that's what I'm supposed to do as a VTuber. I need to have like a Twitter reveal. That's what they normally do, right? They're like, after so many likes and retweets. Lots of comments. I'm glad there's been so many comments on my stream today. I just wish I got around to reading them all. So it's like in my own brain, talking about random stuff instead of interacting with y'all like I should. Always be cheering for you right here. Cheering for you. My only self. Okay, now I want to listen to that clip. I found something on YouTube. And I was talking about how it's really similar. Like, was she trying to be an entertainer? No, she was sort of trying to preserve herself. Like most people, most kids don't do that. I mean, some do. I did some things sort of similar. There's a desire to document and preserve things in a lot of us. I feel like I especially feel that way. I want to preserve everything. Oh, I miss got a shadow saying, funny how it's not out on Steam at the moment, yet people are still playing it here. Well, what do you mean exactly? Are you saying you're surprised that people are playing PC games that aren't on Steam? Oh no, if Goddess is still here. I mean, Steam can help popularity of games, but it's not necessary. Certainly it wasn't necessary for Genshin Impact. I don't think that game is still on Steam. Is Genshin Impact on Steam? I don't think so. Steam helps the popularity of some games, but clearly it's not necessary for something to be on Steam because Genshin Impact didn't need that. If that's what you're implying, I'm not actually sure how to respond to that or what exactly you mean. But if you're saying, you know, it's strange that people are playing PC games that aren't on Steam, I guess it's more like the exception that proves the rule. It's like Minecraft is not on Steam, Fortnite is not on Steam, Genshin Impact is not on Steam, and those are all wildly successful video games. So I guess I'm not surprised people are playing this game even if it's not on Steam. That's the things aren't. Well, let's talk about Genshin. It does make me want to play Genshin now. At least I probably won't have any problems with YouTube anymore. Now that I can use my 2 PC setup, I have it already installed. This probably needs a huge update though. I don't know how I feel about this game yet. My brain was not truly in the game. I liked petting the dogs and cats in first person. That was fun. I'm really confused by this story. Like, what were those creatures I was fighting before I, like, got attacked and told I was gonna have my brain wiped? Or, like, we're gonna erase her memories. And then I woke up, presumably with my memories erased. And so these strange zombie dogs were attacking robots. Are they related to those? Was this a zombie outbreak? I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on in this story at all. Which is at least partly my fault. Mostly my fault. I think I felt a little bit of that way about Genshin Impact in the very beginning. I mean, to this day, I still don't understand fully what's going on in Genshin. It's a very interesting world, that's for sure. Like, what was that old civilization that got destroyed that, Kaya apparently came from? Or family or ancestors were part of, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff doing with the God Wars. Apparently it's related to Honkai Impact as well. It's like part of this tree of multiple interconnected worlds on this giant tree with bubble universes, and I don't know. It's crazy. I'm trying to think. What should I play? I think I'll play Terra. Terra's fine. Oh my gosh, come and start. There we go. I don't know why it wasn't appearing from the start menu. Hey, Maurice, thank you for this sub. I really appreciate that. Right, I guess I'll play a little bit of Terra. Not sure what to play now. Clearly, my brain is really out of it right now. Might as well have streamed to be your chat. At least I can just lay around on the floor. That's nothing, and my brain's not working too well today. I don't know if it's sleepiness or what, but I'm having trouble concentrating. More so than usual. Maybe it's about that happened the other day on stream, I don't know. Seems like my brain is a little hazier than usual. I'll play Terra. Terra? Play. I'll play the classic server. Or I could play Guilty Gear, because goodness knows I've been addicted to that. Wait, let's get this scene set up. It'll appear soon. Oh yeah, I might as well change the text over here. Whoa, that mess with Streamlabs. Streamlabs didn't like that. Is it gonna appear? Maybe I'll wait to move the text box. Tara not responding. Well, I hope it responds soon. My mind is swirling with too many things right now to be a very good streamer. There we go. Now let's move this text box. If I can find it. Yeah, I really am mentally out of it. What's going on today? Sorry, y'all, I'm not doing so well. And noticing comments, paying attention to a game story, or at all. Excuse me. Where is that? Oh, sorry. Is it not sound? What's going on? I don't hear the game. I turned my volume down too much. Oh, maybe it has to be. No, I thought I turned it on. Should I hear the game? Did I turn the music off? That's weird. That's very weird. What do you mean I'm in turn now? I hope I can play it. I can't seem to think very well. Like at all. It'd be nice to at least get a character to full level, but I also kind of want to play as Ukamochi now. Like, what do I play as right now? I'll play a little as her. As long as I'm playing something, my brain is not functioning. Where's the sound? Hey King, where's the sound? Did I turn the— okay, hear it a little. I just need to turn my desktop volume up. I still don't hear music here. What do I do with my day? What is wrong with my brain? I could even potentially return to Final Fantasy 14. It's gonna become like a variety stream. I don't think people are as interested in watching me play Final Fantasy 14 as Terra. Terra has a very tight-knit community of players, united by the sense of a niche RPG and the loss that has come from losing a beloved MMO. Whereas Final Fantasy 14 is a big, healthy community full of tons and tons and tons of people. Which ones jump here? Square. Or in my case, the Y button. I really honestly don't know what I think about. I haven't played the, Tower of Fantasy enough to really know what I think about that game yet. So where's this music? Did I turn the music off? I could play my own music, but I don't mind hearing the game volume right now. Oh, I turned it off. That's why. I'm gonna listen to game music for now. Alright, so Onslaught Charm. Onslaught Charm. I just may not be up to this. Like, what can I play right now? My brain is not good at concentrating right now, and I don't know why. I don't feel like I need to go sleep. I just feel like my brain is foggy. Really, really foggy right now. Like, what game do you play when your brain is too foggy to pay attention to a tutorial? Like it was with Tower of Fantasy. Like, any game with a tutorial or a hard to follow story is not something my brain seems to be doing very well right now. Unless someone gives me some Adderall or caffeine. I already have caffeine in my system. Under sweater shot? What do you mean under sweater? Oh, you mean like the panties shot? Hey, Banner. Most of those are by accident. Dresses do those in general, but I don't mind doing panty shots. As long as I don't get banned from Twitch, I don't mind as long as it makes no one uncomfortable. Let's do coffee. I think I have had plenty of coffee on my brain right now. Maybe that's what's going on. Is it some sort of brain withdrawal? Some sort of caffeine, non-caffeine haze? Where I'm struggling to, like, stream as normal. The only three things I can think of are caffeine withdrawal, which I'm pretty sure I just drank a lot of caffeine this morning. So maybe it's too much caffeine? Because I'm pretty wired. I have the energy to just talk nonstop. I have no trouble just talking constantly. My stream of consciousness is really just fine. But balancing reading the chat, reading any sort of story, like reading this and thinking, I cannot seem to read very well right now. Like, obviously I can read one last thing, charms are temporary, and their effect fades when your stamina drops too low. If you're fighting, resting at a campfire every 30 minutes should suffice. Also, campfires placed by others show up on your mini-map and work for everyone. Which is information I already know, but just showing I can read. I know how to read, but I have some sort of weird brain fog. Only thing I can think is like anxiety over something that has happened recently. Something I'm not even really able to talk with y'all about, which makes it worse. Like something has happened that I'm not allowed to talk about, and has been a bit of stress and anxiety on me. Worry about my parents, of course, my dad specifically, who is going to be getting a cancer treatment soon, so maybe the stress over that. Either that or some sort of substance abuse with caffeine. I know, it's weird. I wish I could deal with it because maybe I'm not ready to stream it yet again. Something is not the way it should be. I don't know why. At least I'm able to talk with you all, even if I'm bad at seeing everyone's comments. I tried to go back and read everyone's comments. I hope I responded to most of y'all and read most of y'all's comments. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. Recovered after surgery. Hey, Saw Person, what surgery did your dad get? Now I feel like I'll focus too much on myself. Do I talk about myself too much? I wonder if I talk about myself too much. That is a terrible thing to miss or not respond to. What surgery was it? Cancer? Was it related to cancer? What surgery was that, Saw Person? I'm glad he's okay. Was it a, it sounds like it was the same treatment you're talking about. Cancer treatment for, prostate cancer. I was once diagnosed with ADHD, but later re-diagnosed with something else that was even less socially acceptable. Never been too happy about that one. I don't think I have ADHD, but I have some ADHD symptoms. It looks like Miji's-san. I'm not gonna be that fun to play online games with right now. Here's Miji, hello. I'm not gonna be any fun to play games with right now. Oh, Monster, you have Guilty Gear now. We can play that together. I'll really be bad at Guilty Gear as well. I'm not good for much other than button mashing right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna sit in the stream and go lay down. So it's gonna be able to do better than this today. What's wrong with me? Amy, how are you?
Be the weapon.
I could try drinking more caffeine, but that seems to be gonna... That seems to... Words. That seems like it would just make the problem worse. I don't want to make the problem worse by making my brain even more caffeine damage to the point I can't experience serotonin without copious amounts of caffeine. That would be horrible. Like some rocks, gotcha. I don't know, I cannot seem...
Victory for Valkyrie.
I don't know what's going on with me and how to even describe what's going on. Maybe it is just tiredness. Maybe you just needed more sleep. I'm not sure. I felt kind of out of it yesterday as well, which is why I didn't stream. I know I wasn't feeling good yesterday. It was because of anxiety. And making it worse is just the fact that I can't talk about what I'm feeling anxious about. Maybe we can at least talk about this part. Do I talk about myself too much? Like, well, I've started feeling self-conscious. I could talk about myself too much, and I'm a bad listener and selfish. That's one thing I felt anxious about yesterday. Hopefully saying that is not too much information or forbidden for me. But who knows? That's part of what I don't feel well. What server? I'm just on Menma's Terra Classic server. By the way, welcome Zolduff. Sorry I had to walk into this weird conversation. I'm feeling like tired. I have this weird brain fog going on right now. Or I'm not at my currently smartest state. My brain's working slow. It's underclocked brain. But I'm on the Terra Classic server. I don't know if there's more than one server here on CZ. So I'll link to that. Terra CZ. I will give you a link. But it's the classic server. Oh, there it is. Message to myself. Here it is. There's some of the things I was talking about earlier. Right, here it is. It's this one.
見るなら着払い金合計税込みで31,000と500ウーロンいただきます。
結構でございます。
Oh gosh, the Japanese voice actors are also better for this. It sounds better in Japanese. Sorry, dub fans. I'd rather listen to this.
これ何?
Oh, come on, RTX. I think RTX voice hates me. I was just trying to repeat what she was saying. Kore nani? Kore nani? Said that, and Nartix was like, no, you are not human. RTX voice is clearly an overhyped piece of software. I'm feeling all sorts of regrets. Like half the time, well maybe not half the time, like 5% of the time, it picks up totally non-human sounds. And like the other 20% of the time, it decides my voice is not a human voice. And totally cuts me off. It's certainly a lot better than nothing, but gosh, that's really frustrating when I talk and it doesn't pick it up at all. I don't know why RTX thinks my voice is not human. I sound human to y'all, don't I? Am I a robot with a human passing voice now?
Let's make memories together.
I don't know if that's a way to strike it rich. I'm not too concerned about striking it rich in such a small private server. I just hope this thing stays around. It's so sad that this is all we have. And the most popular server doesn't really match my playstyle. I don't know much about those endgame dungeon mechanics right now. I probably don't even remember how to fight Chandramanaya anymore. It's been so long since I had to memorize Chandramanaya's AoE attacks of doom. And all the players are skipping the game to go straight to the end game. I like the sense of accomplishment of having a level cap character. I like when there's a sense of like feeling accomplished. Like, oh, I made it to the end game. And feeling like, you know, you did something, that you took a journey across a role-playing game. Like if I play on the most popular private server, where they have just a level skip where you can go straight to the end game. What's it called? Not Starscape, but let me check. Terra. Have I already forgotten? Menma's Terra is the most popular one. Then if I don't use the level skip, I'll feel like I've wasted my time. There's like no intrinsic value in having a level cap character now. Like if you don't use the level skip post and you're just, you know, wasting your time in a sense. There's no sense of accomplishment. It's just kind of a prestige. Let me see. Oh, most have become so bad endgame. I don't want to be rushed to the end game. I want to enjoy the journey. I want it to mean something. I want it to feel like I accomplished something. It doesn't feel like any sort of accomplishment if I can just skip the whole game.
Words are meant to be shared.
Alright, we have to go attack the stone beaks. Alright. Here we go. Also, Stuffed Stone Isle really, as cool as it is, cannot compare to the beauty of the island at dawn. If the story is better, but the location itself feels like a downgrade. The way you rush through the story of Anya and the others. I can't believe it's almost the 26th. So soon. I would play on Mimostira, and I am gonna play on Mimostira. But I at least want to... I want this tier experience as well. I want to level, and I want to feel like my level actually means something. I want to mean that I actually played the game. I want to be cool. To have reached the level cap. To reflect, you know, the time and effort I put in. I want my level to reflect the time and effort I put in. And not existing in Mimostira and being totally pointless. It's really deflating. Like, it's fun to explore the world. It's fun if I want to learn how to do endgame dungeons or just steamroll the whole game and go explore. Like, that's great to go explore. Nothing would stand a chance against me. And so, you know, exploring around the world, that's great. I like feeling overpowered, so that's cool for Mimostira. This is really easy to feel overpowered. Well, that's really jittery. But if I want to experience the journey, it's pointless there. It's self-imposed, and that point feels like you're just wasting your time out of principle. Whereas everyone else is at the level cap. And there's no, you know, meta benefit to having multiple level cap characters, for instance. So that you could say do dailies on multiple characters or anything. Multiple classes, be able to go in as a tank or a healer. No, you can just play any class you want immediately. And do whatever you want immediately. Which is great, but also, I don't know. I feel like the community is just gonna be all doing endgame dungeons all the time. I want to ease myself back in to learning the game. I'd be thrown straight into the hardest dungeons with a level cap character. I want to get a feel for things. I don't know. Again, I'm totally gonna play MMS here. I just, I don't know. The tier I once loved is gone. This is the closest thing I have now. It's still not the same as playing this when it was the current game. Officially alive and well on PC. The Island of Dawn. Just that snapshot of history. There's never something I can truly go back to. This is like a simulacrum. A server with less population than Menma. Amy, dear. I've been told I'm doing it wrong. I'm playing on a dead server. I don't want it to be a dead server. I want this experience.
Hey, what?
Just the part where the nice armor. What does it look like? It's blue. That's pretty cool. Anything else? No, no better weapons or armor.
I have a moment for you.
Bikini armor lady has a moment for me. Could you tell me more about Trove? I know so little about Trove. Supposedly it has a large audience of children playing. which kind of turns me off. That's another thing that turns me off from, say, oh, Minecraft. But everyone plays Minecraft, but it's not so bad. The same is true for Fortnite. Like playing a game with mostly children feels weird. Like, I guess it's like a Minecraft MMO from what you're saying. In theory, that sounds really cool. This isn't a bad outfit either. It's pretty cute.
What?
It's time for me to leave the island already. No, I'm so early on. I haven't even gone to like the dark dungeony, corrupted area. What's it called?
Something doesn't
Screams or something? It's like down here. Tainted Gorge, yeah. First time you start to realize how gruesome this game can be, but
Let's see what's here.
it has only just begun. It was just a tiny taste of how gruesome this game will get. And once it starts getting gruesome, I think I may put it down and take a break for my own sanity. It's this game. I don't even like the G word, but this game is gruesome. The other G word. It's still so crazy that you meet Elion's brother so soon. I don't know how much of a part he takes in the later game. Does he die? I hope not. But knowing this game, they will try to play up as much drama as possible. This game is just full of drama. And by drama, I mean they kill everyone. And show gruesome body horror imagery.
This ought to be hilarious.
Which you never know from this beginning of the game. There's everything so beautiful and relatively tame. And then it just spirals way out of hand. Right, to Gillitu. Is that an actual name or did they make it up? I think my brain is so foggy I'm up to just grinding for hours. That would be boring to watch. There's mashing hack and slash buttons. Well, speaking of hack and slash, isn't that what the like Cult of the Lamb game is? Have y'all tried Cult of the Lamb? I haven't watched it, but a bunch of people on Hololive are streaming. Lots of people in general are playing and streaming that game. Is Cult of the Lamb fun? Do y'all like Cult of the Lamb? I'm wondering if I should play that, but I don't have that money to spend. I'm complaining about grinding, but sometimes I'm in the mood to grind. This grinding is so wrong. Sometimes you just want to turn your brain off. Or your brain is unable to turn on itself properly. You just need something that feels good without being too mentally involved. Let's see. Not everyone is always up for doing the linear quest line, just wants to do the same tasks over and over. I know I want to right now. I want to do the same thing over and over. I don't think I'm up for anything else. I'm following this story, but just barely. I could grind an MMO for hours right now. But don't ask me to think. Don't ask me to think, but I could grind an MMO for hours. Usually when I'm feeling that way, Sonic Mania is a pretty good choice, because I can just mindlessly like grind for lives and score and rings and so forth, playing Sonic Mania. Myself a nice little comfy number of lives to finish the game later. Without worrying too much about running low on lives and so forth. Sonic Mania is great. I love Sonic Mania. Some levels more than others. Studiopolis is great. I want people to get the impression I just like the nostalgic levels like Green Hill Zone. Even though I could just play Green Hill Zone all day, I'd say, you know, Studiopolis is more fun than Chemical Plant Zone. I've never been a huge Chemical Plant Zone person. Lots of people love Chemical Plant Zone. Clearly they did not worry about the, clearly they weren't too bothered by the stress of drowning. Which was an ever-present danger in Sonic 2. Every single thing at any point. That's the point I want to reach in Final Fantasy XIV. Everyone says money has no value. But honestly, I never have enough money in Final Fantasy XIV. There were lots of plots of land I wanted to bet on. To get a house. Because I wanted a house in Final Fantasy XIV. I like to decorate. I was not able to afford a house except the small plots, but if you talk to people who play online, like content creators for 14 or certain communities, they're like, oh, Gil has no purpose in 14. Why would you want Gil? Meanwhile, I never have enough Gil to craft or buy a house or get a new glamour. I always need more gil than I have.
Let's see what's here.
I wonder if they're trying to influence the economy. They're trying to discourage people from having money, so they have the money. They're like, oh, watch this galaxy brain move. I'm gonna get all the money. And I'm gonna be the only one with all the money in 14. By telling all the other players not to have money, and it is pointless. And then I'll be the only one with all the gil. I bet that's what people are thinking, you know? People who tell you the gil serves no purpose in Final Fantasy XIV probably want less competition, right? Is that what they're thinking? Or do they think, or do they not realize different playstyles? I'm not sure. Like, maybe they're so obsessed with playing the game constantly that they have accumulated more gil than they can spend, so they think that's the case for everyone. You know, they just have millions and millions. Like, even if you have millions and millions, though, there's like the gilded mounts. There's the gilded Great Serpent of Ronka. There is the Mikoshi. It's what they use in Japanese festivals. It's normally from the Namazu questline, which I still need to do. I'm really looking forward to that. The Namazu questline. But there's a gilded version that costs like millions and millions and millions of gil. I'm never gonna be able to afford that. But anytime I like talk to players, well, not anytime, but you know, there is a contingent of players that try to tell everyone The gil serves zero purpose. And anyone who has played even a slight amount of time will have more gil than they know what to do with. That's not me for sure. I ended up losing more money by crafting in-demand items. The most in-demand items on the market board. I tried my best to craft those. And I may have just barely scraped by. I had to wait hours. For them to sell. To even have the money to buy materials. To craft more. It was a huge... for the time investment, I barely broke even. Investigate! Wait, level. And so we hire... That is time consuming though. I have tried doing that before. And I only occasionally made a meager profit. I buy something for 1 gil. Sell it 1 gil under what other people were selling it for in the market board. And sometimes it would take 3 days to sell. And it was just taking up precious inventory space. Because it was a low demand item.
Glad to help.
It would take several days to sell. So yeah, it would make 2,000 gil. Considering it took 3 days to sell, I would have been better off just doing the duty roulette. With the requested class, because you get a bonus of gil for doing the duty roulette. Well, it's like a healer or tanker, what's usually needed. I'll be like, hey, here's a bonus. And if you do all your duty roulettes, you could do them on an alt and get even more gil. So is it really worth buying, say, a 2,000 gil item that's being sold for 1 gil? Having to wait 3 days for it to sell? Minimum? At times, sometimes it could take a week or longer. When you can make that same amount of gil running a dungeon for 10 minutes. Well, what's this about, Malik? I was thinking about duty roulettes. The fact I'm not currently burned out on duty roulettes, maybe I should log into 14. I'm just worried that there's less interest. That ever since I started streaming 14, it was a me thing. I was sacrificing, the success of my channel, which had been built on VR chat, for my yearning to be immersed in the world of Final Fantasy XIV, which was so desperate and so deep that I actually didn't talk. I was a bad Final Fantasy XIV streamer. Because honestly, I didn't want to stream. I didn't want to stop being a streamer. I also wanted nothing more in life than to be deeply as possible immersed in the world of Final Fantasy XIV. Aetheris, it's called Aetheris. The world of Aetheris. No. And I was so obsessed with immersion and my love for being immersed in what was mostly just Eorzea. Because I've spent thousands of hours in A Realm Reborn. Just soaking in, feeling like I'm living there. That I did not even want to talk. I remember I went from 20 viewers average to 3. But I didn't care. Because I wanted to play Final Fantasy XIV and nothing else. And I missed 14 so bad. But if I'm doing something like duty roulettes, I don't care. It's more so walking around Ul'dah doing quests and beast tribes and, you know, just trying to soak in and convince my brain that it's real. It's always been really important. When I played it before I was a streamer, I wouldn't even talk to people out of character ever. I would sometimes whisper in like the role-playing parentheses and say, sorry, I'm role-playing. Because, or something similar. I hope I didn't sound rude, but I would try to like say, you know, sorry, I'm trying to be immersed right now. We could talk on Discord or something, just because I so desperately wanted to trick my brain into thinking it was real. More than anything else. I played 14 for years before becoming a streamer. That was my big addiction before I joined VR chat, actually. Before I was playing VR chat on desktop, I was obsessively playing 14. It's not as a streamer, but it's just someone searching for immersion. Humans are genetically engineered. Wait, what? That is a awfully edgy and dark interpretation of human nature. I usually try to avoid that topic, but that's something some people and say like evolutionary psychology claim. And one of the reasons I just do not like evolutionary psychology. I know not everyone's making statements like that, but when people go on to like these sorts of edgy topics, they say some wild and disturbing edgy stuff that has no, you know, no proof. They have no proof. They're not neuroscientists generally. And they'll say some awful stuff about what they think we're genetically determined to do and brain hardwired to do. It's just the most disgusting, horrible thing you could imagine. Like, you know, sexual violence and murder and exploiting, you know, all the worst things a human being could ever do to another person. They're like, oh, this serves an evolutionary purpose and is hardwired into our brains. Like, I know that I'm biased, you know, people use that whole stereotypical talking point. Facts don't care about my feelings. About how disturbing that is. I mean, yes, that's true. I do not want something that disgusting to be true. I don't think most healthy people would want something that abhorrent to be true. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in thinking murder is wrong. And does not want to, you know, to be convinced that murder is something, you know, just an inevitable biologically programmed evolutionary thing. To say nothing of the other thing you mentioned there. So I admit to my bias. I like to think where most of us are biased and are not okay with those things. But also, what is their proof? What studies have they done? What part of the human brain? It also feels like this bizarre justification, because like, what is your answer when they say things like that? They're like, oh, we're evolutionary programmed to invade someone sexually. You know, like the priests in the Catholic Church who preyed on children or something, and they're like, oh, well, that's evolutionary programmed. Well, that feels like an excuse as well. Because, that's morally inexcusable, and you're telling me this is biological programming because evolutionary psychology, Like, what do you want us to do about this problem? Because whether you think it's inevitable, it's a problem that we have to work on fixing. Do you want us to genetically engineer people to not do that? Like, what is your end game here? Because it either comes across as an excuse for the most inexcusable things a person could ever do. You know, like someone who would try to create an evolutionary excuse for Jeffrey Epstein or something. What is your end game? Because I do not think there is an excuse, and it is a really bad thing. If, an evolutionary psychologist were right, in theory, that there are biological hardwirings to do the most inexcusable, evil things ever. What do you want us to do about that? We have to do something. This cannot be allowed to happen. We can do something about society to make that less likely. Biologically reprogramming people is a quite harder task, so not only do I not want that to be true, and I'm pretty sure I speak for most people when I say, that I don't think that people being biologically programmed to being horrible predator monsters would be a very bad thing. I don't see any evidence for that at all. Like, what is your evidence? Society? The fact that people still commit crimes even if they're illegal? I don't think that's very good evidence. Like, where have they seen? What do they know about the brain? Are they a neuroscientist? Have they found hard data? What studies have they done to back up these claims? Like, I'm definitely biased against those claims. I can admit that on a logical level. But I don't see the evidence for that. And we have the tools to, like, discourage being a horrible predator monster who does evil, cruel things by society. And that is a tool we have much more readily than changing someone's biological hardwiring. So when I see someone making those claims, I think, what is their evidence and why are they saying this? Because, one, I don't see the evidence for that. And are they trying to make excuses for the inexcusable? I know, it's very disturbing and I don't like evolutionary psychology. They'll take the most disgusting claims imaginable. Some of them, not all of them. But some people in that field will say the most disgusting things possible. Like you were talking about predators. You brought up predators, literal predators. And we'll say, oh, that's, has a biological origin. You can't do anything about it socially. You can just, there are people gonna be people and do monster things because that's who we are. I disagree. I don't think that's, a good direction. That's very fatalistic. Surely we can, lead the world to having less monsters? I like to hope. I know. I'm not a fan. I have been very soured on the entire field of evolutionary psychology because of people saying things like that. And I haven't seen any hard data, to make me, try to move past my bias against evil. I readily admit that I am mentally biased against seeing horrible evil cannot be mitigated. Ah. Like, I understand some people have brain damage that made them a more cruel person. Much as we like to think otherwise. There was a study of someone who, for instance, became a groomer because of a brain tumor. And what was the Phineas Gage, I think, who suffered brain damage and became a more abusive person. Unfortunately, we are our brains to an extent. And there are some people whose empathy is damaged, and that's extremely tragic. But I don't think we are evolutionarily programmed towards evil things, inexcusable things. I won't say there is zero biological component that leads people in the direction of cruel acts. I've seen a study about the groomer who had a brain tumor, and Phineas Gage, who became a sadistic person because of brain damage. But in terms of saying this is, how people are, is a step away. I think that's ridiculous, honestly. There's, as far as I can tell, neuroscientific data about the brain confirming these very wild, very disturbing claims. I think it gives evolutionary psychology a very bad name. No one wants to listen to a field where people are excusing the inexcusable, or seemingly doing so. What if Spike goes through his yes, I believe he was a construction worker or an engineer. I can look up. It's a disturbing, depressing story, but yes, I think you have the right gist of things with Phineas Gage. Very depressing story. I feel so bad for him. It's not like I'm just trying to deny science here. I do not see the scientific evidence for such extraordinary and disturbing claims. And when you brought that up, that definitely, you didn't say evolutionary psychology, but what you said is very, relevant to that field. And why I don't think just me, but many people hear that word and, it is a problem that so many people are trying to use science in this way, because people aren't gonna have a good image of evolutionary psychology if people in the field keep representing it this way.
It's an honor.
Well, we'll say, oh, well, people should be unbiased. They should seek the truth, no matter how uncomfortable. But I don't see truth seeking there. That doesn't seem like something they have hard evidence for that we can't ignore.
whispers fondly.
What motivates people to make those claims, I don't know. But it's pretty weird. In a bad way. A not good kind of weird. It's... By weird, I mean difficult to understand. And in this case, difficult to give people the benefit of the doubt. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but...
Unity is the key.
Like... It's disturbing. You wonder why someone is saying that. Especially without hard evidence. When someone sounds like they're trying to excuse the inexcusable, I at least try to think there's gotta be some other reason than the fact they're trying to excuse something evil. And it's weird because it's hard to figure out the motivation without assuming the worst in someone. And when someone says something like you said, it's really easy to just assume the worst. That they're trying to, you know, that there's someone who wants to do something this horrible. And it makes them scary. It's weird because that's the way I'm using the word weird. There's nothing wrong with being weird. There's something odd about intentionally arguing for something. It does not seem morally or intellectually justifiable. You wonder. The weird part is having difficulty understanding what brought them to that point. And are they dangerous? Oh, this is a depressing topic. Maybe we should move on. This is extremely depressing. I suppose so is Tira. I don't like the G word, but Tira contains outright gore. The further you come through the game, it just really makes me uncomfortable. And I really wish that were not the case, honestly. Because unlike Tira, like Alan's, I do not want to see the extreme violence this game occasionally contains. Hello. Oh, Pain still plays. Thanks for following. I suppose I did say Pain. Hello. I ain't even saying the G word, but this game does contain more than the word, but the actual thing itself. And I'm not a fan of that at all. I believe this is true, so it is not so silly. At least I admit my bias against the morally abhorrent. I mean, who doesn't have I like to think most of us are biased against the morally abhorrent. Blinded here and anything is base. Yeah, here. Just put a fedora on me because I agree with you, Malik. Where's my fedora? Milady, I shall smite them. Excuse me? What did you say? Milady, I shall smite them. I'm sorry. Getting too far into the meme culture. I'm pretty materialistic myself due to science. Despite how many people have tried to ruin, you know, skepticism or whatever with fedora and milady memes years ago. Oh yeah, the internet ruined fedoras. It's just a hat. Poor little hat. Trilbies too. I feel so sorry for this fashion style, having been practically memed out of existence. I guess you could say I'm sort of atheistic, but reluctantly so. Like, I don't think it's a very good thing to potentially be true because it's pretty bleak. But if I follow science, there's not a lot of hard evidence for the supernatural. I wish there was, but what's the thing debate bros like to say? The facts don't care about my existential dread? Yeah, that one. I try to respect everyone's, perspective. And I like spirituality in general. I like the imagery. I think every religion has had some really interesting cultural aspects to it. Every single one of them has had good and bad. But as to whether I can personally justify a belief in the supernatural, I feel like maybe I was lying to myself for many years of my life just due to existential dread. Because I'd rather go to hell. I'd rather go to hell than not exist. And that's puzzled a lot of people. But like if you told me, which is the more disturbing thing to hear? That you'll go to hell for all eternity or you'll just cease to exist? I think I would take hell. The thought of hell is comforting to me in comparison to the skeptic interpretation. I'll take hell over non-existence any day. And he's better. Oh, this one's a much better sword. Anyway, I'm only saying that because I try to be logical. Even if it really hurts, I try to be honest with myself and accept the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. But those sort of evolutionary psychology claims you brought up earlier, those don't seem grounded in logic at all. It's one thing to be skeptical of supernatural claims and take a scientific outlook on existence. Or you Occam's razor and say, I don't see evidence for this. I think the same applies, to what you were saying. These are people who just believe it. And these certain claims in Evo Psych. Because I think that there is no reason to assume these things are true without hard evidence. We have a ton of evidence in the way social, culture, and the nurture has tons of effect on people. It's really easy to study the effect of nurture. And certainly there is genetic components to all sorts of things about us. It's what separates us from, say, bonobos, is our genetic differences. But it's quite an extraordinary claim with such a broad lack of evidence. It's so much easier to study and see the effects of our society, which we do see the effects of nurture constantly.
Can I help?
And we have
We got it done.
sociological studies that have been done over and over and over. That's another thing I find weird. I've found people who are like, sociology is not a real study. It's not a real hard science. This is sort of weak science, or not science at all. Or doesn't tell you anything. When there's been tons of studies done about human behavior and culture in society that have been replicated multiple times. So we can see the real effects of nurture through this study. And there are people who are like, no, that's not real. That's not real study. That's not hard evidence. That's not real. And then we'll turn around and say, evolutionary psychology is real science. Kind of weird. Like, I get that it's hard to have the same amount of rigor and data for something like, say, sociology in compared to, say, neuroscience. Like, or the study of germs, for instance. You know, there's some really, really hard data you can get from that. A lot of numbers, a lot of hard numbers. Hard materialistic numbers. But I'd say we have a lot more data supporting sociology. Sociological studies that have been replicated multiple times and shown a lot more promise than evolutionary psychological claims that we really need more neuroscience itself, more brain scans, a better understanding of the anatomy of the brain before we can say this is nature and that is nurture. We see a lot of things that can be replicated in terms of nurture that we won't be able to pinpoint as an instinct, as a genetic, human biological adaptation without hard neuroscientific data. Anything else is really just conjecture and assumptions. And I think that people spending so much time on evolutionary psychology would really do better to be furthering neuroscience itself. I'm playing on the classic server Terrace Easy. I wanted to experience the old Island of Dawn again, which I'm doing once again. Just the feeling of leveling. I'll show you that. It is this server right here. Thanks, Smelling. Thank you. I don't want people to think, I'm saying this out of some sort of... Oh, thank you, Primal! Thank you for following. I don't want people to think I'm anti-science. I am extremely pro-science and logic. Perhaps to a fault. On all levels except physical, I am Fedora. I promise you, I've got some logic going on up there. But, what was I gonna say? I think that our understanding about whether these nature or nurture claims are true would be much better served if the people in the field of evolutionary psychology took the time they were doing arguing and writing books and doing seminars and whatnot, trying to convince people of these claims about nature, actually did something that would forward, true or not true, you know, see where the science actually goes, by investing their time in something that will prove or disprove those claims, which is neuroscience. We need more brain scans. We need to understand and unlock the mysteries of the brain with hard empirical neuroscience. And evolutionary psychology is not hard empirical neuroscience at all.
Let's do this.
I don't think neuroscience is gonna hit a dead end. I sure hope not. I sure hope not. I think it'll take a while, but eventually we will unlock the the mysteries of the human brain in full. We'll understand how everything works. You think biology? Really? Which part about biology? Very prominent and flat out admitted what he believes is true, but rather he hopes. I don't hope atheism is true. It's a bleak existence. It's probably true, but it's pretty bleak. What Richard Dawkins believes. He's probably right, but I'm not happy that he's right. It's a cruel existence. Oh, sure. The absurd, as Albert Camus would have put it. I mean, admittedly, a lot of those of us in America, and America especially, have had to deal with some pretty cruel religious people. I mean, it's part of the reason, for instance, like a lot of Japanese people don't like religion and don't want Shinto to be considered a religion. And the reason why supposedly we adopted, you know, separation of church and state. Because we saw how power hungry and cruel people could use religion to do things to people. And, you know, for a time, for instance, Christianity was illegal in Japan. Part of Japanese history is one of oftentimes animosity towards religion. The powers that be at one point in time went to war against Buddhist monks and tried to push them back in terms of their place in society. Trying to make sure that the control of Buddhist monks was not out of hand, because for a while there, the imperial family thought that the monks of Buddhism, the religion, quote-unquote, of Buddhism, would take over all of Japan. And took measures to prevent that. That's one reason Japan doesn't like religion. And then there's religious cults, which are quite infamous, which I don't really want to invoke. But I'm sure y'all know about the infamous cults of Japan. Here in America, certain religious groups are pretty darn powerful, and not always for the better. So I've got the feeling when someone like Richard Dawkins says, it's better if it's not true, He's probably thinking of his bad experiences with Western, Judeo-Christian extremist groups that are so powerful here in the United States. Really, really sours. You were making fedora jokes, or not making fedora jokes. I was making the jokes, but you were saying you were upset about how they ruined a piece of clothing. I feel like people become like that because they've had traumatic experiences. Now, those sort of people who went to that subreddit probably didn't come there from sheer skepticism. The people who venerate Richard Dawkins or Sam Harris and are like, my life is defined by my dislike of religion, those sorts of people. The amazing atheist people like that. I wouldn't say that's him, but you know, that sort of school, that was like a whole YouTube genre for a while. How much can I hate religion for not being true to science or whatever? For not being evidential. It's more of a culture war than, you know, a skeptic thing. What they really don't like is the cultural influence of powerful religious groups to, in many ways, traumatize some of us. A lot of us in America have been traumatized by certain extreme people who hid under the guise of religion and spirituality to commit acts of abuse. Not least of which the nuns I watched on a special recently on YouTube, who were grooming young girls. And you have a situation where the Catholic Church protects priests and nuns and other abusers. That makes a lot of people really angry for life. And gives a lot of people some really painful experiences that go beyond sheer, I don't know if that's true. That seems a little too supernatural. I'm going to dedicate my life to how much I hate this. I'm almost certain a lot of those people are trying to deal with abuse. They're trying to contextualize, they're trying to rebel, they're trying to deal with a world in which someone religious abused them. Just like those nuns in the Catholic Church who groomed and got away with grooming minors. That sort of thing will paint someone in their view of people for life. I think it was from the Huffington Post or something. But I watched this heartbreaking documentary recently about nuns. Nuns in the Catholic Church who used and abused their power to groom young girls. And the women who were abused as girls said in that same documentary, I think it's like on Huffington Post on YouTube, that they lost their faith. They will never have trust for this denomination. That they lost their religion because someone used it to hurt them on such a deep level and never face consequences. That sort of thing makes someone angry for life sometimes. And I'm pretty sure that's what was going on. So when you talk about, you know, Richard Dawkins or people who are like, no, not only is, you know, this not scientifically true but morally wrong, you know that there must be an element of abuse there. Someone who has wronged them or wronged someone they love in the name of that. Whether it's like a cult or a priest or a nun, or just, you know, someone who's really homophobic and they have like, and they care and empathize with LGBT people. Someone has done something to hurt. when I see that sort of thing. And they can't get over that hurt. Because it's so deep and so painful. So just because you brought up Reddit's subreddit atheism, the sort of fervor that got people to turn into a backlash against them, the extreme fervor against specifically Christianity, that has to come from a place of hurt. I see that, and I see an abuse victim lashing out when I see things like that. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I see an abuse victim. Someone has hurt them to make them wrap their identity so much around a hatred of that. Getting too politics and religion in this stream. It just can't seem to escape, can I? I'm never gonna be a successful VTuber. I'm just too... I need to have a filter! I need to know these things aren't something I should talk about. I'm so sorry, y'all. Well, at least I have you, Malik. At least I know I have you here to talk about this stuff. So glad I have true friends who will watch regardless. Ooh, Sky Castle. Thanks, Yozo. I'm a deep thinker. Am I a deep thinker? I like to hope so.
That curiosity hasn't gotten you killed yet?
There she is. Hey, Phaedra, what's going on?
You're from the Federation, huh?
Maybe I'm too much of a person who thinks about this stuff. I'm trying to be a VTuber, not Hassan Piker. I'm trying to be a VTuber, not Hassan Piker. Those two cultures are the opposite of each other. There is no such thing. This is the Hassan Piker of VTubing. You're not supposed to talk about this stuff. It's against the whole culture. There is no future in me thinking or talking about these things. It'll only damage my channel, even though I have this burning desire to talk about certain things. There is no such thing as the VTubing Hassan. It is the complete opposite of everything VTubing stands for. It's fun to rant about this stuff. It feels cathartic, but it's something I need to have more self-control over. And I really have bad self-control about this stuff. Were they really made as just a joke race? Where did you hear that exactly? I'm curious. Could threaten the Shogun. That is true. religion was forcibly being made during the Edo era to, I believe, give a tithe to the shogunate, and we're not allowed to make a certain amount of money. They really, really curbed Buddhism and religion of any sort to do anything other than serve the shogunate. It's definitely not how society works now, because merchants were like at the bottom of society in Edo period Japan. Whereas here in, the modern world, in the modern world, rich, rich people, rich, essentially merchant class people, are these shoguns of, or the shogun of society. Don't need to pluralize shogun. The shogun of society today. But back then, merchants were the lowest tier of society. For samurai were an extremely privileged class. Being a Buddhist monk, you were at the mercy of the shogun and the samurai, who lorded over the people. Admittedly, Terra is pretty darn dark and gritty. Not that, shows with lollies or games with lollies can't be dark and gritty. So there, that Made in Abyss game coming out. Abyss gonna be just as gruesome as the show. Gritty game and show full of lollies and sodas. Not any respect for the creator. I recently found out one of my friends who's a VTuber had a outfit designed by the creator of Made in the Abyss. That is an absolutely gruesome show. And these ain't 10,000-year-old lollies. This is like innocent, ignorant, young, and exploited. So very exploited and hurt. It hurt to watch. I will never understand how people get so much more upset over the very brief naked scene with Rico, like taking a bath and so forth. When even... Oh my god, that is so kind. And there is so much gruesome stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so much money. They just gave me 1,000 gold. That is so nice. How much gold do they have? Gosh, what a generous person. Oh my god, I didn't even get to finish that statement. Don't give me more gold. Please don't give me more gold. Ah! Don't have to give me over 9,000 gold. That's a meme. An old meme. I'd love to play the Made in the Abyss video game, but there's no way I'll ever be able to handle that content. I cannot handle Made in the Abyss. They're giving me just so much gold. How did they get all this gold? Jeez, they've really been playing hardcore. I feel like I've missed out. What I think was interesting, and I'm kind of sad that they changed, was that the Ellens were originally just female Popori. I wish that was still the case. I liked that. I wish they didn't change that. I think the Ellen rolls off the tongue more than Popori. But that was interesting. I know that a lot of people don't like, you know, the weird sexual dimorphism sort of thing. And yeah, that happens a lot. It's weird how the girls are always humans and the guys are always animalistic. And that sort of media. But it was still cool. It still brought the Popori and the Ellen together as like one race. And I liked that. To be furries, yes. The villain are furries, look. They just have less animal features than the boys do. I liked that! I liked that! That was cool to me.
Don't take it personally.
Gosh, that is so much. I don't think having them here makes this less gritty, but I do think the Ellens are adorable. And for instance, I do watch a lot of children's anime. Thanks to the fact there isn't a lot of dark gritty stuff. Like 2 of my favorite anime of all time, no, 4 of them, are considered like shoujo. And so like seinen or so forth. Like Fushigi Boshi no Futago Hime, Ojamajo Doremi. I like shoujo because of like how innocent and sweet it usually is. It's not dark and gritty. It's very cuddly, it just makes you feel wholesome and healed.
Got it covered.
Like watching something like Ojamajo Doremi or something just feels healing. Like an escape from the bad stuff. I feel very comforted by these shows that are ostensibly made for little girls. But for me it's more, it's not just like my inner child, which I definitely have an inner child. A very strong inner child, to be sure. But also, like I've been talking about some dark stuff here. There are those of us who just want to escape all that. I'm worried that I'm making that worse. People probably come to watch VTubers to escape that for the same reason. Because the dark world is dark and scary. And these things aren't fun to think about. At least when you watch a cute magical girl show, a shoujo magical girl show, not something as dark as, say, Madoka Magica, but something that's actually made for girls, it's cuddly, it's wholesome, it makes you feel good. Whereas all this dark, gritty stuff, hyper-violent stuff, where everyone's hurt and dying, just makes you feel like you might as well be watching a political show. And watching a special about all the worst things in life. I've heard people down talk these anime being like, oh, that's just garbage for children. No, self-respecting adult would watch children's anime or My Little Pony. I watch dark, gritty, mature anime. I think if I wanted the dark, gritty part of life, I'd watch the news. There's a million different discourse channels about, you know, hot button issues and dark topics then. But when I watch anime, I want to feel good about myself. I don't want to stare into the abyss of the world. I want to feel good. I want something innocent and wholesome when I watch anime. Alright, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Be right back. Hit the key. Oh, hit the key. You will have more choice. Let's see. Right, then I'll go use the bathroom. Oh, that's not that one. There you go. Terminus. Whoa! Glorious black lion. That's pretty cool. Glorious. So glorious. Whoa. All of my favorite anime are completely devoid of some of these dark talks. Dark subjects I unfortunately just talked about. Making my channel honestly worse for having them. Because I want to be like my favorite anime. Wholesome, safe, healing. None of these topics were those things. I wish I could make content about Fushigi no Futagohime, but I would always be working around copyright law to become like an anituber. All these video games and focus on being a video game streamer has not given me a ton of time to hang out with people on VR outside of VR chat on stream. Less time to call and hang out on Discord. And less time to watch other streamers I enjoy. And I know why some people are saying I stream too much. I have a huge gaming backlog and a lot of games I want to play. It would be fun to go back to focusing on anime in life, but how would I be a content creator? It's hard to be an anituber. I'm not used to doing it. I'd love to be an anituber. I'd love to make a video reviewing my favorite anime of all time. Fushigi no Futagohime, Princesses of the Wonder Planet, so forth. Mysterious Star. Ojimaju Daremi. Unmitsuhime. That doesn't even have a proper sub. They only subbed episode 1. Why is that anime so ignored? I don't think old anime was better. And I think seasonal anime is great, but I do wish this old anime would get some love. Anyway. Let's see, there's Yumi no Crayon no Koku. I love those. I'm feeling it being as wholesome as my favorite anime, I realize. That makes me sad. I want to be something that is reminiscent of what I love about Fushigi. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I will be right back. Or at least I'll try to hurry. Right, I'm back. Took a little longer, sorry, because I was gonna move that, I totally forgot to do so. Alright, well, let's do it now. Or is that? I really have been absent-minded, jeez. I'm gonna be straining some water. Or straining some water, oh my god. Deep thinker me can't even say things right. Straining some water, straining some rice. With something nice, I got prepared some rice. I'm hungry. So I think some rice, some Japanese white rice. Japanese American white rice in this case. Would be pleasant. Especially if I can find something to eat it with. But yeah, I like happy anime. Hey Tabby! Yeah, I see you really enjoy my Kirby emote. I'm glad you enjoy the Kirby emote. Coda Farms! Started buying a lot of Coda Farms white rice. It's a little more expensive, but you know, rice is generally pretty cheap. This is where it first starts getting a little dark. Darker than I like my anime, that's for sure. There's even some parts of Spy Family I had to look away from. Which is bad because I really like. Oh, that's another dark anime. We were talking about dark and gritty versus lolly characters. Anya Forger! In Spy Family. Did not enjoy seeing someone get shot in the first episode of Spy Family. There's nothing in there as bad as Made in the Abyss, but I honestly just can't handle much. I don't like this part. It only gets worse from here. There's some gruesome, gritty things in here. I certainly believe this was intended to be a gritty game because it is. A very, very gritty game at times. I just like Collins. And action combat is nice. I'm not a fan of tab targeting, I'm really not. I wish there was more alternatives to tab targeting. I don't think it's a very interesting combat system. Like, for all the frustrations I have learning fighting games, for instance. You know, Medion, Wake Up, all that different stuff, Mix Up, Meaty, that sort of thing. Oh, so many terms. So many terms. So much to learn. It's like playing action chess, you know. It's not just mindless button mashing. There's so much to think about. There's someone who's trying to get back into them. And it's tried many times over the years. With many different games, starting with Street Fighter 2. I will take that any day over tab targeting. I do not like tab targeting. I would rather learn how to play a fighting game. And the quick, snappy, you know, combos and animations, like this sheer feeling of like, not real battle, but definitely more real battle than tab targeting. I like action RPGs. And the combat system here feels so much more fluid. So much more fluid and so much better feeling. I'm not gonna say one combat system is deeper or better, because I'm not like an ultimate player. I know I'm really rusty at the end game dungeons here. I'm not someone who's good at Savage. I'm not someone who's good at Ultimate. I barely beat Chandra Manaya with my friends and reached that point. So like, I wouldn't say I've reached the upper echelons of either game. Aside from learning the mechanics of Delta Escape. Probably to the point I'll learn Delta Escape. Savage. That I could do is, a minimum item level. Like, there's the ability to turn that on and not cheese it. I bet I know the mechanics of, well, one of the Delta Escape Savage, Neo Axtath. I think I understand Neo Axtath's mechanics really, really well. One of the, highest tier things I've learned, of course, it's old content and it can be cheesed. But I think I understand what to do fundamentally. That's the highest tier I've reached there in terms of difficulty in 14. It's just really memorizing how Neo Axtath works. Like the wound of light, the wound of dark. All those other different mechanics of Neo Axtath, if I still remember them. But just this like game feel. It feels better to swing around a sword than to have to constantly change targets and lock onto them or whatever. I need to go check on my race. It'll only take a moment, y'all. Can't wait to have some white rice. I love white rice. Alright, I'm back. Looking forward to that race. Hopefully everything still works. How have the audio levels been while I've been streaming, by the way? Having to get used to... I always have to, you know... start a bunch of my settings... well, back to at least hopefully their old positions or close enough. I change between VR. And sometimes it seems like they don't work the same as they did. Like, I turned it back to minus 16 decibels. It was too loud. Speaking of which, let's try this, because this game, it also depends on the game. For some reason, this game is kind of quiet, and I don't know why. At least in comparison to the last game I played. Let's see. Sorry, make me look weird. I've been real slow this year. I need to go over here. Bum 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 bum. I hope my stream has at least been interesting today. I know I haven't been playing very well, but I've certainly been talking a lot. So at least hopefully the conversations have been interesting. Alright, that's done. Brain hasn't been in the game. It's been on all sorts of stuff. But hey, at least I've been talking.
For the Federation.
Too tired to remember anything. Basically, that's me. That is basically me.
It's an honor to help.
Ooh, you level.
Return soon.
Whisper here. It's probably an all the time. Unless we go to Velika already. But this quest line is not done. Also, don't I know that feeling? I know that feeling is so much savvy. It seems a pretty common thing, you know, where someone feels too tired to do anything. But also just not on the threshold of like going to sleep. It's weird. I'm so glad there's another player here.
Such
It's like a new player. Someone leveling and all. Something! It's healthy if there's people in the starting area. I'll have to check on the rice again soon. It's cooking. Don't want to overcook the rice after all. Because even if it's in a rice cooker, if it's left in too long, the rice will overcook. And the sides will brown. Even if you put plenty of water in the air, the perfect amount of water, if you leave it in too long, little some overcooked parts that are spacing the Teflon or whatever it is in the air inside the rice cooker. I want browned, overcooked rice. I want it to be just right.
Helping others is a delight.
Karasha. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to go to the dungeon, of course.
Farewell.
Oh, nice. Likes my old outfit though. Gosh, that's so much money they gave me.
Greetings.
It's so incredible and incredibly nice. People can be so generous. Funny still, I've streamed a decent amount today. With list of camp. Now we're close to the end of the Island of Dawn, which honestly I was really slow out here. Really slow. Super slow. Right. I'm gonna go check on the race. I won't be gone but just a couple moments now. Just enough to make sure it's not overcooked. Or potentially ready. Actually, I think that was perhaps a lie, though not intentional. Because my dad is up, and I want to spend my time with him before his cancer treatment. Dad just woke up. Honestly, I've been kind of absent-minded this whole stream anyway. So maybe perhaps I should end the stream. I think things have kind of calmed down. Most people are lurking right now. My dad is awake. I'll spend some time with my dad. I think that would be something I would be emotionally fulfilled by. Oh, well, hey, man. I wonder if I should raid someone. Honestly, 5 hours is more than some streamers stream. Oh! Found the perfect option. Alice Alucard is streaming. Cool. Oh, I'll raid Alice. Wow. I didn't have to watch an ad at all. So we're going to stream another lolly-tuber who is very prominent in the lolly-tubing community, so to speak. Her name is Alice Alucard. She's a friend of a couple of my friends. Or at least, you know, people who I used to hang out with a lot. Ryuzuart or Ryu, or Ray. I think he just goes by Ray. And, vote for waifus. I met both of them in VR chat. Vote for waifus and Ray. And, eventually they told me they were friends with someone named Alice Alucard. So, I'm gonna raid a friend of my friend. A friend of a couple of my friends. So, like, here we go. I'm gonna raid Salakart, and I'm gonna go, spend time with my dad. See y'all. Thanks for coming to my stream. Sorry about the long rants, you know. I didn't really play games today, I just ranted about stuff, didn't I? I was kinda had stuff like this on my mind on other streams, like in VR. It's like, oh, I'm gonna start a stream and then talk about what I'm thinking about. And then it totally disappeared from my mind. I was like, oh, what was I gonna talk about? But, no, probably one of those topics I got a little bit of a rant out of my system. I just hope I didn't scare anyone away with my passionate ranting. Very passionate ranting. Raid time! Bye-bye! Love y'all! Mwah! 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 Go enjoy the other lolly tuber. When I can't, which is now. See y'all! Bye-bye! Mwah!
Right now with me doing Hey, Malik! Hey, and Little Robot Fairy, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome. Can I get a shout out? Thank you, Coach A. Oh, you were playing. Wait, hold up. You were playing Terra? Wait, I thought Terra shut down. Huh? Wait, you were playing Terra? What? I thought Terra shut down. Oh, it's private server. Oh. So wait. You were playing on a private server where? Well, I mean, like, were you playing on a console or something? There's several private servers for PC. Oh, I see. Ah. Okay. Let me check out Little Robot Fairy, though. I need to see what they're like. I need to check them out. Show me! What if are they? No, don't even show me. I mean, like, show Little Robot Fairy. I need to see.